And welcome back. We talk a lot about mental health care on this show, and my next guest is on a mission to get more families, especially those of color, to open their eyes to the struggles that loved ones might be going through. Dr. Sheila Williams talks about her own family's issues in her memoir, My Mother's Keeper. Glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. When it comes to dealing with mental issues in families of color, Black, Hispanic, what have you, it's something we're not willing to talk about and put on the table. Why is that?
Well, in my opinion and from my research, I believe it's generational. Obviously we were enslaved. So we were taught to be strong and we were taught to hold in emotions. So, whether it was through rape or whether it was through, our children being taken from us or being beaten, we held in emotions because nobody cared about emotions. You couldn't do that. And so even from that point on into where, slavery was abolished and then we had discrimination, you couldn't have emotions. So from generation to generations, we as African Americans have learned to suppress our emotions because showing your emotions is a sign of weakness.
But that energy has to go somewhere.
Right.
And it could be damaging at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, and that's why I do what I do, because we have learned to suppress our emotions for so long that we are afraid, ashamed, embarrassed to say, I can't take this. The weight of the world, my job, my divorce, my bankruptcy is on my shoulder and I need to talk to someone. So more often than not, we fail to get help.
Now, what you were not able to do as a young child is find someone to talk to because you cared for your mother.
Yes, correct.
Who had mental health issues.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Correct. My mother's mental illness was not diagnosed until I was about 24 or 25 years old. So throughout my entire childhood, we had no idea what was wrong with her. We just knew something was wrong. So it was misdiagnosed, undiagnosed. So you can imagine the trials and tribulations and the challenges I faced as a child, because quite naturally, if you have a mental illness that's not treated, you're not able to, quite naturally take care of yourself, but it's impossible for you to care for someone else. Mm-hmm. And so at times she was not able to appropriately care for me because of this undiagnosed, misdiagnosed mental illness. So there were so many challenges, but once we found out what it was, we still didn't talk about it. Even though it was treated, she still felt ashamed, she felt embarrassed. And that led me to want to know more about psychology and mental illness. And I went and got my bachelor's degree and then my master's degree in a 24, 25-year career in this field. Mm-hmm. But I saw her suffer in silence. And then through my career, I saw so many other people suffer in silence. I said, I need to speak up. I need to be transparent about my story so that others can know that it's okay. You're not alone. There are so many people out here suffering, but there is help and there's hope available. They need to know how to get it.